Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to imagine something for a moment. Close your eyes, if you will, and picture a life where money flows to you as easily as the wind moves through the trees. Picture abundance not as a distant dream, but as your immediate and natural state of being. Now, open your eyes. That image is not a fantasy. It is not something you must struggle for. It is your birthright. The universe is generous, but it requires that you understand its language and follow its laws. The first law, the most important law of all, is the law of your own mind. Your mind is the garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever seeds you plant, fear, doubt, limitation, will bear fruit. But so too will seeds of courage, faith, and expectation. If you want to be rich, truly rich, you must begin by planting only those thoughts that will produce wealth. Affirm to yourself daily, I am a magnet for prosperity. Money comes to me easily and abundantly. I am open to receive. Say it until your soul believes it. Now, some will say, but I have bills, I have responsibilities, I have debt. And I say, good, use those very circumstances as the fertile soil for your seeds of abundance. You cannot grow wealth in empty soil. You grow it in soil that is rich with challenge, because it is in the stretching, in the reaching, in the expectation of the impossible, that the miracle occurs. Next, release all resistance. Fear blocks the current of abundance. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear that there is not enough. These are the walls that keep money from flowing. You must remove them. Affirm, I cast out fear. I let go of doubt. I am safe, secure, and open to receive all good. Feel it. Let it resonate through every fiber of your being. The universe responds to feeling. Thoughts alone are like whispers. Feeling is a roar. Then, act in alignment with your inner guidance. The universe speaks to you constantly through intuition, opportunity, and the small nudges of your heart. When you act on them, doors open where walls once stood. Wealth is not just money, it is the expression of your creativity, your talents, your joy. Follow what you love, and money will follow you. Do not chase money, attract it by radiating the energy of value, love, and service. There is a powerful principle you must understand: what you give, you receive. If you wish to be rich, think not of hoarding, but of blessing. Be generous in spirit, in words, in energy. The universe multiplies what you freely offer. Wealth is not a matter of scraping and grasping, it is a matter of circulating. Give and receive tenfold. Remember also, abundance begins in imagination. See it, feel it, speak it. Picture your bank account full, your debts dissolved, your business thriving, your home secure. Do not think small, do not compromise. Speak as though it has already happened. Affirm, I am wealthy, I am prosperous, I am a channel for divine abundance. The words you speak are spells that shape your world. Do not be impatient. Riches, though they may seem distant, arrive at the perfect time. Trust the invisible currents that move behind the scenes. You cannot force them, but you can align with them. Keep your vision, keep your faith, and keep your thoughts high. When you do, money will seem to appear from unexpected places, doors will open, and opportunities will multiply beyond measure. And finally, embrace gratitude. Gratitude is the amplifier of wealth. Be thankful not only for what you have, but for what is already yours in the unseen. Every coin, every opportunity, every act of generosity, thank the universe for it. Gratitude is the signal that you are ready for more. The more you give thanks, the more you receive. It is the divine law. So I say to you now, as we close these 25 minutes together, wealth is not a dream, it is not a distant hope. It is your natural state. You have only to claim it, to affirm it, to act upon it, and to receive it with joy and gratitude. Plant the seeds, speak the words, feel the abundance, give generously, follow your inner guidance, and be thankful. And watch as your life transforms. Wealth, freedom, joy, and opportunity are already yours. Step into them now and live the life you were born to live. Your mind is the fertile soil in which the seeds of your life are planted. And if you wish to experience true wealth, you must understand that everything begins within. The external world is merely a reflection of the inner. Every thought you entertain, every belief you hold is shaping your circumstances, your opportunities, and your prosperity. It is not by chance that some people seem to attract riches effortlessly while others struggle endlessly. The difference lies not in luck, talent, or circumstance alone, but in the mental patterns that govern their daily thinking. Wealth is born in the mind long before it manifests in the material world. To cultivate abundance, you must first recognize the power you already possess. Your mind is the garden, and your thoughts are seeds. Every word, every affirmation, every image you hold in your consciousness is a seed being planted in the fertile soil of your imagination. If you plant seeds of fear, doubt, and limitation, you cannot expect a harvest of abundance. Conversely, if you plant seeds of faith, expectation, and prosperity, your life will inevitably yield a rich harvest. It is a universal law that what you plant, you reap, and this law is exact, unerring, and impartial. You cannot sow one thing and reap another. Begin by examining the soil of your mind. Are you cultivating richness, or are you allowing weeds of negativity and disbelief to take root? Many people unconsciously allow the seeds of lack and scarcity to flourish. Thoughts like, "I'll never have enough," "money is hard to come by," or "I don't deserve prosperity" are weeds that strangle the life from the garden of your mind. You must become vigilant, observing the quality of your thoughts with the same care a gardener observes the soil. Are you nurturing the seeds that will grow into financial security, joy, and freedom? Or are you neglecting them, allowing the weeds of fear to take hold? Self-awareness is the first tool of wealth creation, for you cannot change what you do not recognize. Affirmations are the sunlight and water that nourish your mental garden. Words spoken with faith and intention have the power to transform the soil and energize the seeds you plant. Speak daily. I am a magnet for prosperity. Abundance flows to me effortlessly. My mind is attuned to opportunities for wealth. Repeat these words with feeling, imagining them as already true. The mind responds not only to words but to the feeling behind them. Feeling is the vital force that brings thought to life. When you speak affirmations with emotion, you are watering the seeds, encouraging them to sprout and grow into the tangible reality you desire. Visualize constantly the life you wish to create. See yourself surrounded by abundance. Picture the comforts, the opportunities, the experiences you desire. Hold that image with clarity and detail. The universe responds to clear, definite mental pictures. Vague wishes and half-hearted desires scatter your energy, producing little effect. The mind requires precision. Imagine the exact circumstances you wish to manifest, and the invisible world will begin to shape itself to match your inner vision. The rich soil of the mind requires careful tending. Imagination, combined with affirmations, is the ultimate creative force. You cannot build wealth without first seeing it in your mind's eye. It is also necessary to understand the role of expectation. Expectancy is the invisible current that carries your desires into reality. If you doubt, if you question whether you deserve or can achieve wealth, you are planting seeds that will yield disappointment. Faith in your own worthiness and in the infinite supply of the universe is essential. Expect prosperity. Expect abundance. Expect financial breakthroughs. And the universe will conform to your expectation. The law does not argue with you, it responds to the energy you emit. Expectation is no to wishful thinking, it is a confident, unwavering inner knowing that what you desire is not only possible, but inevitable when aligned with the principles of abundance. You must also guard against the habit of comparison. When you measure yourself against others, you invite envy, dissatisfaction, and lack into your mental garden. Every person's path to wealth is unique, and the universe has a perfect plan for you that unfolds in divine timing. Comparison diverts energy from the seeds of your own abundance and allows weeds to take root. Focus instead on cultivating your personal resources, talents, and opportunities. What you nurture within yourself will bear fruit far more abundant than what you covet from another. The mind that is rich in gratitude, faith, and creative energy is a garden in which prosperity grows naturally, without struggle or effort. Understand the importance of persistence and repetition in cultivating the mind. A single thought of wealth or a single affirmation is not enough. Like a gardener who tends his plants daily, you must repeat the process of mental cultivation constantly. Reinforce your affirmations, revisit your visualizations, and guard your mind against negative intrusions. Doubt will attempt to creep in. fears will arise, and external circumstances may tempt you to despair. In these moments, return to your inner garden, speak your affirmations, see your vision, and feel the certainty of your abundance. Persistence in mental cultivation strengthens the soil, deepens the roots of your seeds, and ensures a harvest that is not easily shaken by temporary storms. Do not underestimate the role of faith in this process. Faith is not a passive PE. It is the active force that moves the unseen into manifestation. Faith is the belief that your thoughts have power, that the universe is responsive, and that prosperity is not a privilege for the few but a natural state for all who claim it. The mind that believes creates conditions for wealth, while the mind that doubts invites limitation and scarcity. Faith in your own creative power is the foundation upon which all riches are built. Without faith, even the most carefully planted seeds may fail to grow. It is equally important to recognize that wealth is not merely the accumulation of money, but the full expression of your creative ability. Money is simply the material symbol of the energy, ideas, and actions you contribute to the world. By nurturing your mind with thoughts of abundance, you open yourself to all forms of prosperity: financial, intellectual, spiritual, and emotional. Wealth, in its highest sense, is the harmonious alignment of your thoughts, your actions, and your environment with the infinite supply of the universe. Every rich thought strengthens your connection to this supply and multiplies the opportunities that come to you. Finally, remember that patience and trust are essential. Seeds take time to grow. A gardener does not dig up the plants each day to see if they are sprouting. You must allow the seeds of thought to germinate and grow in their own time, trusting that the universal forces are at work behind the scenes. Doubt and impatience are weeds that stunt growth, while faith, attention, and careful cultivation nourish and strengthen the life you are creating. Your mind, when properly tended, will yield abundance beyond your imagining, and every thought, word, and visualization contributes to the richness of your harvest. There is a silent voice within each of us, a guiding intelligence that knows the path to wealth, success, and fulfillment. This inner guidance is the whisper of the universe speaking through your intuition, and it is one of the most powerful tools you possess in the creation of prosperity. Many people work tirelessly, following plans, strategies, and advice from others, yet they fail to recognize the signs and nudges that come from within. The universe always communicates through subtle impulses, sudden ideas, opportunities that seem almost coincidental, and feelings that guide you toward the right course of action. Aligning your actions with this inner voice is the key to manifesting wealth with ease, for the universe conspires with those who listen and respond. To begin, you must cultivate the habit of stillness and attention. The mind is often noisy with worries, doubts, and distractions, making it difficult to discern the gentle messages of intuition. By setting aside quiet moments each day, whether through meditation, reflection, or simply conscious breathing, you create a space in which the inner voice can be heard clearly. In this silence, the universe can communicate its wisdom, and the mind can recognize the subtle clues that point to opportunities for prosperity. The more you practice listening, the stronger your connection becomes, and the more precise your guidance will be. Intuition speaks in a language of feeling, not logic. It is a sensation, an inner knowing that may not always make immediate rational sense. You may feel a sudden pull toward a certain project, a person, or a decision, or experience a clear sense of excitement or hesitation. These feelings are the markers of guidance, and learning to trust them is essential. The mind that doubts and questions every impulse will miss the opportunities that are right in front of it. By contrast, the mind that recognizes and follows these inner prompts moves with the flow of abundance and is guided toward actions that align with the greater good and the laws of prosperity. It is important to act promptly when intuition speaks. Opportunities often appear fleeting, and hesitation can result in missed chances. The universe tests readiness by offering moments that require courage and decisiveness. When you feel the nudge, the inspiration, or the alignment, respond immediately. Trusting your intuition is not a reckless act, it is a confident alignment with the invisible forces that are working in your favor. Action guided by intuition is always fruitful because it is synchronized with the natural current of abundance. You do not struggle against circumstances, you flow with them, and the results are often more astonishing than any plan your mind could devise on its own. Notice the signs that appear in your daily life. The universe communicates constantly through people, events, and circumstances. A chance encounter, an unexpected suggestion, or even a small obstacle can contain a message or direction that leads to wealth. Those who are attuned to these signs recognize them as guideposts rather than coincidences. To align with intuition, you must remain open, observant, and willing to take action when the signals appear. The outer world becomes a mirror of your inner awareness, reflecting the pathways that are available to you and the steps you must take. Often, following intuition requires courage and the willingness to move beyond comfort zones. The familiar path is safe, but it rarely leads to extraordinary wealth. Intuition may guide you toward ventures that appear uncertain, toward people who challenge you, or toward ideas that require boldness and faith. Trust that these directions are aligned with the universal law of abundance. The mind that fears risk and clings to security may never experience the fullness of prosperity. True wealth demands courage, and the courage that springs from inner guidance is divinely supported. Every inspired action, no matter how small, strengthens the flow of abundance and opens doors that could not have been reached through logic or force alone. Intuition also works in conjunction with the principle of right timing. There is a perfect moment for every action, and the inner voice is attuned to this rhythm. Acting too early or too late can disrupt the flow, but acting in harmony with timing multiplies the effectiveness of your efforts. Trusting timing requires patience, for it is not always immediately clear when the perfect moment will arrive. By remaining sensitive to the subtle signals and impressions that arise, you learn to discern the appropriate time for each step, and your actions yield maximum results. Aligning with intuition requires faith in your own worthiness and in the abundance of the universe. Many people ignore their inner guidance because they doubt themselves or feel undeserving of success. They may receive clear impulses toward opportunity, but dismiss them as impossible or impractical. By cultivating a mind's of worthiness and expectation, you remove the blocks that prevent intuitive action from manifesting in the material world. Affirm to yourself daily that you are capable, deserving, and attuned to the guidance that leads to prosperity. The more you reinforce this belief, the more clearly the universe can communicate, and the more readily you can act upon its direction. Creativity and imagination are also essential partners in the alignment of action and intuition. Often, the guidance you receive is not a literal instruction, but a spark of inspiration that requires interpretation through your imagination. Allow yourself to explore ideas freely, to experiment with possibilities, and to innovate based on the impulses you receive. The inner voice provides the direction, and your creative faculties bring it into tangible form. Wealth flows most easily when intuition and imagination work in harmony, for they bypass limitation, open doors to new opportunities, and reveal solutions that logic alone cannot produce. The flow of intuition is intimately connected with the flow of energy in your life. Negative emotions, unresolved conflict, and scattered focus can cloud your perception and make guidance difficult to discern. By cultivating a state of calm, joy, and clarity, you maintain a clean channel through which intuition can speak. Every act of kindness, every expression of gratitude, every moment of conscious attention enhances your receptivity. The universe responds to the clarity and alignment of your inner state, and the actions inspired by intuition carry this energy into manifestation, multiplying their effect. Remember that aligning action with intuition is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. The mind will continually present distractions, doubts, and competing desires, and the outer world will offer countless diversions. By maintaining a steady connection with your inner guidance, you learn to recognize the difference between genuine inspiration and fleeting impulses of fear or desire. This discernment strengthens over time, creating a pattern of action that consistently aligns with the currents of abundance. Each decision made in harmony with intuition reinforces confidence, clarity, and prosperity, creating a life in which wealth is drawn effortlessly through inspired action. There is a divine principle at work in the universe, a principle as certain and unerring as the rising sun, and that is the law of giving and receiving. The flow of abundance is like a river. It moves effortlessly and continuously when allowed to circulate freely. When you hold tightly, when you hoard, when you cling to what you have out of fear, the current slows and stagnates. Conversely, when you give freely, when you bless and uplift others, when you live in a spirit of generosity, the river of abundance flows with power and speed, bringing prosperity back to you in ways often unexpected and multiplied. Gratitude and generosity are the twin keys that unlock the limitless wealth of the universe. Without them, riches may come, but they will never stay, for the energy of scarcity repels the natural influx of prosperity. Gratitude is the magnet that draws abundance. When you focus on what you have, rather than on what you lack, your mind is aligned with the frequency of plenty. Every act of thanksgiving, whether for a coin in your hand, a smile from a friend, or the simple gift of life itself, sends a signal to the universe. I recognize the blessings around me, and I am ready for more. Gratitude transforms ordinary circumstances into fertile ground for wealth. It multiplies the effect of every opportunity and every resource, making them more powerful than they would be if simply taken for granted. By cultivating a daily practice of gratitude, you train your mind to see abundance everywhere, and the universe responds in kind, sending more blessings than you could ever have imagined. Generosity is the outward expression of this internal gratitude. It is not enough to feel thankful privately. Prosperity grows when you circulate what you have. Give of your time, your money, your knowledge, your talents, and your love. When you bless others, you set in motion the invisible laws that return to you tenfold. This is not mere sentimentality, it is a law of energy. The universe is exact, impartial, and responsive. The more you give, the more the current of abundance flows through you. Giving does not impoverish, it enriches. It creates a rhythm of circulation in which wealth becomes dynamic rather than static, and where opportunities multiply as naturally as water spreads when poured onto fertile soil. It is also important to understand that generosity is not limited to money. Wealth is expressed in many forms: kindness, attention, encouragement, and guidance. The person who blesses others with these gifts finds that doors open in ways unimaginable. An encouraging word can inspire someone to act, creating opportunities that circle back to the giver. A small act of kindness may set in motion a chain of events that brings unexpected wealth. By giving freely, you are aligning with the universal current, signaling that you trust the flow of life to supply your needs, and this trust is repaid with abundance. The mind that is grateful and generous is always rich, regardless of outward circumstances. People often look at others who have material wealth and assume that prosperity begins with money. The truth is that wealth begins in consciousness. A person who practices gratitude and generosity is rich in perception, energy, and vibration, and this inner richness attracts material wealth naturally. The more you cultivate appreciation and the habit of giving, the more opportunities, ideas, and resources will appear in your life. You begin to see wealth where others see lack, and you act from a place of fullness rather than scarcity. It is essential to recognize the connection between gratitude and faith. When you give thanks for what you have, you demonstrate trust in the infinite supply of the universe. Faith and gratitude are inseparable. Faith alone without gratitude can become abstract and disconnected, while gratitude alone without faith may become limited and conditional. Together they form a magnetic force that attracts abundance. Every thought of thanks strengthens this connection, every act of generosity increases the flow, and every day lived in acknowledgement of your blessings multiplies the wealth that is drawn to you. The principle of giving and receiving also teaches detachment and trust. You must give freely, without expectation of return, confident that the universe will replenish you. This is a test of faith and a demonstration of understanding. When you give with attachment or demand repayment, you disrupt the flow, creating resistance. True generosity is unconditional, knowing that what you send out in blessing returns to you, often in forms more wonderful than you could imagine. By letting go, by trusting that your needs are always met, you open the channel of abundance wide, allowing it to flow without obstruction. Notice how small acts of gratitude and generosity compound over time. Each thank you, each blessing given, each contribution made is like a seed planted in fertile soil. Alone, a single seed may seem insignificant, but with consistent attention, it grows into a mighty tree bearing fruit beyond expectation. The same principle applies to wealth. Daily acknowledgement of blessings, combined with regular acts of giving, accumulates power and energy, creating a field of prosperity around you. The universe responds not to grand gestures alone, but to the regularity and sincerity of your heart. It is also important to recognize that giving and gratitude must be directed with awareness. The universe rewards intention and alignment. Giving to someone in need, offering your time to worthy causes, or sharing knowledge and wisdom all create powerful channels through which prosperity can flow. Mindless or begrudging giving does not produce the same effect. The mind that is conscious, joyful, and willing experiences abundance in direct proportion to the quality of its generosity. Each act of giving, each word of thanks, and each expression of appreciation resonates in the unseen world, creating the conditions for wealth to manifest. Generosity and gratitude also protect against the limitations of fear. Fear of loss, fear of insufficiency, and fear of deprivation are common obstacles to prosperity. By cultivating gratitude for what you have and generosity toward others, you neutralize fear and replace it with trust. The mind aligned with trust does not cling, does not resist, and does not panic. It moves freely, attracting circumstances that are favorable and opportunities that are aligned with its highest good. Fear repels abundance, but gratitude and generosity attract it with a power that cannot be resisted. Finally, the practice of gratitude and generosity aligns you with the invisible currents of divine abundance. These are the laws by which the universe operates, the currents that bring riches, opportunities, and success to those who understand and obey them. By acknowledging the blessings already present in your life, you affirm the infinite supply, and by giving freely you participate in the circulation of wealth that brings more back to you. The universe does not withhold, it multiplies. The mind and heart that are open, thankful, and generous become a conduit for prosperity, attracting wealth with ease and joy,